Hey guys, what's going on? I'd like to say thank you very much to everyone that has come into the channel, anyone that has any questions, anyone that's been hanging out, everyone that's been commenting on the videos, people that come into my Twitch channel, kind of hang out and see what's going on, even like just the great comments on like the strats for GrandMaster Nightfalls. In today's video, I'm gonna be going over just all the different weapons that I'm gonna be using this season and why I'm using them, kind of. But I'm gonna do my best to try to make this video short as possible. Um, I just I always like to do my best to kind of break down what goes on in my head. All right, so here we go. Now, this season and the previous seasons, I've been talking about how good explosive payload is. Explosive payload is one of those things that's kind of like slept on weapons. It is a free 7% buff, but not only that, it's reliable when it comes down to overload champions. Instead of, perfect example, hand cannon with explosive payload takes 2 shots to stun an overload, right? But if you don't have it, it takes 3, and sometimes you might not get that off. An unstoppable champion, it takes basically 1 because the pellets spread in 3 different places, and one of them is going to stop that unstoppable champion. Now everyone's like, man, why all of a sudden are, explosive payload so good, and how come people didn't use it before? The thing is, it used to be really good when Vanilla D2 came out, and then it got like messed with a little bit because of the flinch factor and stuff like that. Also because of certain things in Crucible, but it never lost the value of it being like a really good thing. And a lot of people do kind of ask me about time payload and if I feel like time payload is better than explosive. And here's my thoughts on that. Time payload is very inconsistent compared to explosive payload. Explosive payload not only does more damage, where you get the 7% extra damage, but it's always consistent. It's always going to be the same number. So I'm just going to go here and show it real quick here. All right. Here we are. And as you can see on this ogre, I'm going to shoot it with the explosive payload hand cannon. And I got 15, 16, and 10, 19. And every time I do it, those are the numbers that I get. Now I'm going to switch over from this hand cannon to this. Also, when you're testing stuff out in Trivia Hall, make sure that the weapons that you're testing are the same light level, or you're going to get different damage numbers. And that can also mess up your stats. All right. But now you see here we have 1487 and 1070, but then we got 1487 and 847, 1487 and 850, 1487 and 833, 1487 and 1092, 1487 and 1070. Time payload is very, very what's the word I want to say here? Time payload is very inconsistent, and you kind of saw that right there. The numbers just don't add up as much, and if you add those 2 numbers up, it's still less than a weapon that has explosive payload, and explosive payload is just very consistent. All right, on to the next one. Now, when it comes to the weapons with explosive payload, I like to use a max range Better Devils that has Accurize, that has Sure Shot, and Rangefinder. I didn't get the Rangemaster work here, but I mean, if you have Crucible tokens and you end up going for it, if you get Accurize and Rangefinder, you're kind of set with explosive payload. Or even if you get Accurize, explosive payload, and Rangemaster work here, you're good to go. All right. So if you got Crucible tokens, go check it out. Next, we have the Curated Spare, which kind of takes a while for people to get. I mean, if you got the balls to go into Gamma Prime with the collector set, you have 2 chances to get it here. Either be the first person to bank 20 in your team, right? 20 motes all together at once. And then the half bank medal, meaning you're banking 50 motes each match. That's how I got mine. And this gun is beautiful. It comes with a pendant mag, meaning that you have 14 in the mag. And since overflow is here, overflow basically doubles your ammo or your mag when you pick up special or heavy ammo, and it automatically reloads it. So now the gun goes from 14 to 28 shots, and it is very consistent. And not only that, another reason why I love the spare ration is because it is also a lightweight frame. So your movement and everything else is also there. So not only is it lightweight, but it also has overflow, which you can hold even more, and you have explosive payload. All right, so I'm gonna try to keep that short there. Next, a lot of people have been using this 7 Seraph Office Revolver. It is not a bad thing to have. I still think that this guy kind of lacks range, and with the Pendant Mag, it only goes up to 10. So like the mag size and the range kind of like mess with me. I kept this one just to kind of show people that you could definitely do something with the gun. It is just not something that I like to use. Ambitious Assassin, and of course it has time payload. The thing about the time payload, I mean I just showed it off, is the inconsistency of it. Also, this is a 180 and it only holds 8, so it's not doing that much more damage, yet it has a small mag. So for the people out there like, EK, why don't you like 180s? It's not that I don't like 180s, it's that there's too many negatives to 180s for me. All right. Now, this weapon, you might not have it. You might have it if you played last season Sundial. And then that is the Breach Light. The Breach Light is one of the best weapons when it comes down to anti-barrier shields. I happen to have a full bore accurized one, which is awesome, with Outlaw and Vorpal. And Vorpal is just beautiful, man. Vorpal works very well against champions, especially when they have the shield up and you're trying to break it down. This helps you take it down even faster. And as you can see here, the Breach Light has insane range, man. Insane range. This thing is meant to take down anti-barrier shields. And sidearms are actually the most effective when it comes to taking these shields down really quick, unless you run Arianas. My thing about Arianas is I like to run Anarchy and I like to run Xeno. So there's going to be times where I don't want to run Arianas, and this is a better option. All right. Now, let's go to the next weapon. If you're a fan of 110s, all right, if you're a huge fan of 110s, you kind of have the True Prophecy, which can roll Overflow and Explosive, which is basically like the curated spare rations, but it is not like the curated spare rations because it is a 110. And we know that in the world of Destiny, 110s are kind of slow when it comes to handling and other things like that. But I kept it so I can kind of show that there is another option. If you're loving 110s, you can find a True Prophecy for sure. True Prophecy isn't a bad weapon. I have tried using it. It's okay. I don't mind it. I prefer the Loud Lullaby, which has Outlaw and Explosive Payload. Why? Because with Outlaw, I know that my reload can be a bit faster. We also have enhanced light arms loaded this season, so your reload can be a lot faster than what it needs to be. And this guy can also roll with Explosive Payload. You can farm this if you own Shadowkeep. So you can basically, if you have the essence, you can farm it as much as you can and see if you get that roll. All right. Now let's go into the energy slot. Okay. We have the Dreng Baroque. It is a sidearm that comes from the Menagerie. That means that is something that you can farm for. And you guys have asked me a lot, why am I farming Menagerie? I am trying to get a max range Dreng Baroque with Shield Disorient. That means that I'm trying to get full bore, Accurize, fully auto, Shield Disorient, and a ranged Masterwork. And like I said previously before, sidearms, when it comes down to taking anti-barrier shields down, they're just awesome. And fully auto basically kind of helps you where you don't have to spam the button to take it down. All right. So the Dreng Baroque, the Breach Light, and the 7 Seraph are like top key. Now, the thing that makes the 7 Seraph kind of stand out to the others is that not only can it get fully auto, but it can also get Vorpal Weapon, and Vorpal Weapons works not only against like yellow bars, but against champions. I haven't gotten that lucky. So far, I got a full bore extended with fully auto and Vorpal with range. I would love to get a full bore Accurize, fully auto, and Vorpal with range. I have done a lot of those frames. I have not gotten it, and life happens. But if you're out there and you have this, please save it. Trust me, it is a really good weapon. It is a really good weapon. All right. In the energy slot, when it comes to explosive payload hand cannons, there's only 2 in the game currently. We have the Nation of Beasts, which comes from the Last Push raid. I got lucky to get one of these bad boys here. It is not fully max range, but it does have Hammer Forge and Acrobatics with the Outlaw and Explosive, and I do love it. It is very consistent. And another that you can actually farm for is the Kindred Orchid, which I have here, has Corkscrew, Acrobatics, Kill Clip, and Explosive on it. Yes, it can get Kill Clip and Explosive. All right, so if you have Black Armory and you're looking for a consistent weapon in the energy slot, you have, a Void one to go after. I know that people love their Recluse, and that, when it comes to SMGs, people want to use SMGs. When it comes to Grandmasters, they're not that consistent when it comes to taking off the shield. You basically have to team shot with someone in order to do it. So I normally don't run it. Now, if you're in a coordinated team, what I did was I kind of threw in Divinity and other things. If you're forced to use a Divinity, I personally don't think having Divinity with Izanagi is the play anymore. I think having Divinity with Mountaintop is the play. All right, it does more damage. You don't have to waste that much ammo because you're consuming 4 to get 1 to do damage. And if you're working together as a team, you can kind of take down shields together, especially if you're going against anti-barriers, or if you're doing overloads or unstoppable, you guys can kind of stop that and keep the damage going. But I do love running Anarchy or Xenophage in my heavy ammo slot. So when it comes down to it, if I don't have to run 2 primaries and I can run 1, right? I can either cover overload or unstoppable, or I can cover anti-barrier. Guess what? Mountaintop is going to be one of the things that's up there. And if not Mountaintop, the next best thing is the Eye of Soul. Why the Eye of Soul? Because you can get Vorpal Weapon on the sniper. And on top of that, you can stack it with Boss Spec, which allows you to do more damage. Now, going back into that, if you want to run the primary SMG, here we are. Escape velocity is a lot better when it comes to taking a champion's shield down than Recluses. Why? First, you got Vorpal. You got the extra damage to take it down. You have Overflow. This thing holds 37. When it doubles up, guess what? It goes up to 74. So 74, you don't have to reload. You're basically shredding a champion's shield down before they even get to reload. So if you have something like this lying around, just go check it out, use it out. Let me know what you think. I think this is a pretty good gun, pretty solid to take with you, especially if you end up getting like the right perks and a range master. All right. Going back to the sniper phase. So if you don't want to play trials, you don't have Eye of Soul, and you play the previous season, the Trophy Hunter also has Vorpal Weapon, and it can roll with triple tap. The very first week of Grandmasters, I ended up using Breachlight and Trophy Hunter with Anarchy, and it kind of helped me out because my other teammates who were coordinated that they got rid of like some of the knacks, like a barrier shield I had covered, unstoppable they had covered. So when they stop on unstoppable, all I had to do was snipe them, right? Put 2 Anarchy shards and then snipe them, and that's why I love Anarchy. Anarchy allows me to put damage in on something and switch to something else and keep on damage. That's basically damage from 2 sources. It almost counts as if you're like 2 Guardians. That's another reason why I love Anarchy. Anarchy also allows you to do damage while you're behind cover, which kind of gives you some kind of opening to engage and disengage and then come back especially when anti-barrier kind of puts up their shield, right? You hit them twice, you back up, and as soon as it goes up, you're there, ready to break down the shield, stun them, and keep damage on. Xenos, you see me use Xeno a lot this week. We've been running 2 Anarchies and 1 Xeno. Xeno is basically a sniper that can hit from far, and it can cover a lot of ground. And it basically kind of helps you in Grandmasters that you don't have to get that close to the enemy in order to kind of take them out, right? So if you haven't gotten Xenophage yet, you should look up the quest for it. He has an amazing video on how to get the Xenophage. Definitely check it out. Next, I have the 7 Seraph SMG, which also has 4 times the charm and Vorpal on it. Now, it doesn't have overflow, but it has Vorpal. So as long as you're hitting the crit on an anti-barrier shield, you never have to reload. This gun will do the work for you. I also have a video for this gun specifically if you're looking for the roles. Any of the weapons that I'm showing here, if you're looking for the specific role, I have a YouTube video for it. Make sure you just look down the link. I'm going to try to wrap this up now. But when it comes to the heavy ammo slot, there's a few things that I prefer using. Swords sometimes, but Temple Claws from the previous season, auto-loading and Rampage, is pretty freaking awesome when there's voice shields if I need it. If I'm not using Anarchy or Xenophage because I'm running Ariana's Vow. Delirium is a great one to use if you have gotten your hands on Edgewise. Edgewise is also another fun thing, especially with Feeding Frenzy and Demolitionist. If you have a build around your grenades, Edgewise could be the thing to go to, especially if there's soul shields. Hammerhead is always great and it's something that you can farm for. And then we also have the Cantha D, which I know is hard to farm. It comes from forges and it is random RNG. Right? But the base of this video is just to show you exactly what I have and different weapons that I'll be using throughout the Grandmasters this season. And I'm sorry that this video was that long. Thank you guys for watching this through, and I'll see you on the next one. I do appreciate all the support, and I'll see you guys live soon.